Hello. Okay. Hi. I got all the videos from Lore Breakers. They messaged me the Renaissance videos that they recommend, so I have them saved of what they told me to watch. So we're gonna watch some Lore Breakers. Give it a minute. Hello, hello. I practiced earlier today and everything worked, so hopefully this will go okay. How's your guys' day been? I can't believe, is it Monday? My days are all just like clustered together lately. I've been so busy. It is Monday. Okay. I only have 2 more days of work, and then on Thursday I'm packing for Chicago, and Friday I leave at like 7 in the morning. I have to be to my friend's house at like 5 a.m. That's crazy, which means I'm just barely realizing this. I have to wake up between like 3:30 and 4 on Friday. Oh my gosh. I'm going to need a nap. I'm so excited. We're getting there. So I'm going to try to finish all of the Renaissance videos on this live. And then Wednesday, I'll go live again to do some Cowboy Carter videos. If these Renaissance ones don't take too long, maybe I'll do some Cowboy Carter today too. Oh, you're homesick. Oh, I'm glad. Hang out with me. My daughter's sick. She just went upstairs. She's not feeling good. So that's why I'm a little bit earlier than I expected, because I thought I was going to hang out with them, but my kids were, they just wanted to leave. They didn't feel good. So, okay, let's watch this one. This isn't the first one. I'm going to go in order of what he sent. So started with this one, or she. Is it? I don't know if Floor Breakers is a man or a woman. I have no idea. So I'll just say they. This is the first one, though. The Beyonce Matrix Theory. I haven't heard of that. So let's watch. Oh my gosh, it's 36 minutes. Okay, well, I'm just going to watch this. I'll pause to talk to you guys while I'm watching. Ooh, that's so beautiful. Oh. I'm like really excited about this. Oh no, there's not. Okay. I shared the tab differently this time. Earlier there was sound. It said it would share the sound if I did the whole screen. Let me try to unshare and then share again, see if you guys can hear it. Oh, good. I'm glad you haven't seen them. I'm really excited because I love watching people's theories. Sometimes they're crazy. Sometimes it makes no sense. But everyone seems to like Lore Breakers, so maybe I'll just share the tab and see if you can hear that better. Okay. Okay, tell me if you can hear it now.
Piece from the Renaissance World Tour intro. So from this alone, you can see, like, if you look at the markings, it's the exact same prop. So she was already planting things in this British Vogue photo shoot for us to unpack. So there's so much hidden in here, but a while ago, I was reanalyzing all of the photos, and what came across
that's gorgeous,
interesting to me was this photo here where she has these wings on her ears, and they looked like something out of Greek mythology. So in Greek mythology, the god of dreams is called Morpheus, and he had wings on his ears. He was the son of Hypnos, who was the god of sleep.
I saw a video today on TikTok of someone who had like a cowboy hat that had wings coming out the back of it. Have you guys seen that? I'll repost it on my TikTok if you guys haven't seen it. That is crazy. People are so creative.
So Morpheus is the god of dreams, and Hypnos is the god of sleep. They are both symbolized by the poppy. The Hypnos would bring poppies to people to help them fall asleep. And
Yeah, gorgeous.
Morpheus had a bunch of poppies in his cave where he would sleep all the time, and he slept a lot because he was a god of dreams, and in order to dream, you have to be able to sleep. So, um, in ancient Greece, the poppy seeds were used as a painkiller, but the side effect was drowsiness. So, you the word morphine comes from Morpheus, right? Morphine, Morpheus, same thing. So it's interesting to me that caught my attention was that morphine and heroin are the exact same drug, both made out of poppies. But one you get
Really?
charged for, i.e., charged a bill, the other you get charged for, like a prison sentence. Hospital bills and prison sentences.
I didn't know
Big
it was
pharma
the
and
same
private
thing.
prisons, both systems who profit off of people's pain.
Yeah.
Now, you might be thinking this is kind of a stretch, but if you think back to Beyonce's Formation Lemonade tour, or especially the Formation video, she was commentating on the, Trayvon Martin and Black Lives Matter and whatnot. She has always had political messages in her music, so I do think this makes sense, and I don't think it's a reach in that sense, considering how much she does and is outspoken about these kinds of things. But I think that she's trying to hide the messaging so that it comes to you on a more subliminal way. She faced a lot of backlash from police during the formation era, saying she was anti-police, and I think she wants to avoid this kind of distraction.
That was so crazy that her standing up for what she believes comes across as anti-police after like everything that she's saying, she was saying for a reason. Like it's experiences that she has lived and people she loves has lived. I can't believe how she was treated after that. That's so crazy.
In the media because it takes away from the actual message she's trying to get across. Big pharma and big prisons, systems that profit off people's pain, and you're useless if you're sick or addicted to drugs and can't work. Basically, if you can't work, they're going to profit off you with medicine to make you
Hi.
work. And then if you can't work, then you're just going to have hospital bills. Like they're going to profit off you, sick or healthy, whatever.
Oh my gosh.
I thought this was an interesting.
I have trauma from Z-Packs. I went to Mexico. It's been about a year ago, and there was a hurricane, which I've talked about. But when I had the hurricane, I had a very, very bad infection, and I was planning to go down to get medication the day after the hurricane happened. So obviously because of the hurricane, I wasn't able to go down. So I had to wait for medication a few days after that. And then I went down, and in Mexico, like you don't talk to a doctor, you just go into this pharmacy and order what you want. And our phones weren't working because of the hurricane. So I couldn't look up what I should order. And me and my friends were just guessing, and someone was like, just get a Z-Pack because that's good for infections. So I got that, and then I was taking it for days. And then when I finally got back to LA and I had my phone working, I looked it up, and the Z-Pack is not recommended for what I was using it for. So I was in excruciating pain. It was horrible. So now when I see Z-Pack, I don't think I'll ever let a doctor prescribe that to me, even if it is for the right thing. That traumatized me. It was horrible. So now I see that. I'm like, oh,
Coincidence as well. One of the DEA, the Drug Administration's like official book. This is a government document. One of the slang words for heroin is Beyonce. Is that a coincidence? I don't know,
really?
but it's right here in plain writing. So heroin is like a female hero, which maybe that's why the DEA has it slang for heroin as Beyonce, because she's like a female hero type. It also sounds like Heron, like Saint Heron, and I thought that's Solange Knowles' record label, right? Weirdly, a flock of herons is called a siege, and a siege is the act or
I just want to know how people put all this together. How did they see all this stuff and they're like, oh, Like, this is a lot of research. That takes a lot of work. I am so impressed by this. I'll never be on this level.
Process of surrounding and attacking a fortified place in such a way as to isolate it from help and supplies, for the purpose of lessening the resistance of the defenders and thereby making a capture possible. Any prolonged or persistent effort to overcome resistance. I don't know. If you can think of a time that happened in America, in the world, in the last years, then let me know. But I think it's interesting that a flock of herons is called a siege. Poppies are also a symbol of Remembrance Day in Europe. For the wars and everyone wears poppies. The St. Heron album came out on 11/11/2013, and this 11/11/2023 will be the 10-year anniversary. 11/11 is Remembrance Day, which is the day that people wear the poppies. And I think that something might be coming out around this day. Heroine, hero, St. Heron, maybe something around the
I wonder if
visuals,
anything came out on that
maybe
day.
another album, something involving Solange. You heard it here first. If it happens, we'll see. Time will tell. Now, kind of moving on to the single, Break My Soul. She's talking about, like, I'm gonna quit my job, da-da-da. Like, she starts with that single. I think a lot of people during the paracetamol, realized that they hated their jobs. And
yeah, these ones are more complicated than the Swiftie ones. Some of them, most of them. I watched the Swiftie ones, and it all makes sense. But all this is like deeper. I also feel like Beyonce's music is way deeper. It takes a lot more to dig into it because it has so much history behind it. So this is really cool. Let's hit the thumb up. Oh, you're so sweet.
And woke up to this during the paracetamol. And a lot of people
Great resignation
who hate their jobs and get stuck in this 9-to-5 wheel.
She did not release
go round and round.
I love it.
They just get stuck in it, and they need to numb themselves with what? That's how the opioid epidemic came about. It was like such an easy, slippery slope for so many people who were miserable. That's why I'm saying it's this fake American dream. And maybe that's why she says my un-American life, because the whole
the Dissect videos were amazing. He did amazing. Well, they did, but his podcast in general, I really hope that he does Cowboy Carter and Renaissance. I'm hoping he's just waiting until like the end of Act 3 to do all of it, because I will be watching all of the Dissect stuff. It's so good.
Thing of the American life is the American dream. The American dream that's been sold to you is fucking bullshit. And it's work until you're born, work, die, in the grave. Numb yourself out if you can't stand it. It's miserable. So many people are miserable. I think that's why she's saying my un-American life. I do want to jump back a little bit. When I was listening to Break My Soul, when she said quit my job, I heard the lyric from that hidden track Haunted on the Beyonce album. The hidden track is Ghost, and Haunted is the main song. But the video is really creepy. I think they're connected, especially because her video for Haunted is so creepy. Also, there's a woman in that video that looks like...
They're obviously very creeped out by that video. He just said it was creepy so many times. So I think he's waiting till all the acts are completed. Yeah, I hope so. Oh, it's so good. I can't wait.
Grace Jones. And we know that, I think it was The Dream who said she's been working on these songs for like over 8 years. One of the songs, I think for Thick, he had the beat over 8 years. So I think this whole Renaissance thing is a concept she's been thinking about, God, 10 years? Who knows how long? I think it's been a long time in the making. That's why I'm referencing back. Ghost and Haunted came out in like 2013, I think, or something. In that video, she's like walking through this weird haunted place, and there's like these TVs and these twins, which is very much like The Shining.
Yeah.
I'm going to get back to The Shining thing in a little bit. I think she might be influenced
It
by
reminded
horror
me
movies.
of The Shining too.
But it's a weird video.
And
she says this whole 9-to-5 just to stay alive thing. So, and in this British Vogue shoot, she also has this like picture in a pink kind of...
I think we'll get a movie too, and I'm gonna be so excited. I'm gonna go see it so many times in the theaters because you don't know if she's gonna release it later. I'm gonna pay so much. I did. My kids originally were not willing to go with me, but I talked to them yesterday and I was like, if there's a movie for Cowboy Carter, it's the concert I go to. Are you really not gonna watch it with me? And they said they will. So they're gonna go watch the concert with me if she does release it in a movie.
Matrix-esque jacket, and she's looking through the red glasses. But the picture that really solidified this whole thing for me was when she's on this motorcycle. And look at the lights. They're red and blue. Red pill, blue pill. This is when this whole Morpheus thing clicked in for me, especially because her braids are tied in Bantu knots, which are the same kind of style that Jada Pinkett Smith's character has in Matrix Reloaded, who lives in Zion. Also, Zion is underground. Clubs are underground. And she references stylistically in the tour the robot costume from Metropolis, which is underground. I do want to.
The Beyonce Experience is the only other thing on DVD. That's crazy. That's all she's released. I've watched so much, but it's been easy for me because people sent me links, so I haven't had a hard time finding anything. Act 3 is definitely rock because she references Betty Davis in the Break My Soul remix and dressed up as her for Halloween and wore one of her fits. Ooh, I will be so happy. We are all going to lose our minds. I'm really excited that I get to experience it with you guys. I will be, like, the minute it's released, I will be recording my reactions for everything. I can't wait.
Just draw attention to the cover of America Has a Problem with Kendrick Lamar, the remix. The American.
I can't figure out what this flag is like made out of. That it looks like a weird material. People have theorized that the film we hope she comes out with after all the acts are done will be directed and produced by Jordan Peele. I don't know who that is, but I assume people are really excited about that. At one point, I thought she put every concert on DVD. Yeah. I'm shocked that she doesn't. She just really doesn't care about just the money. She could easily make so much money off of it, but she just wants to. That's the flag. I know it's the flag, but it looks like it's like wire or something weird. Like, I don't know.
Flag is made up of pills, addicted opioid epidemic.
I don't know about that theory.
And blue pills.
I haven't heard very many theories.
2011 or 12, she did her Life is Beautiful documentary, and she talks about how people are just constantly on their phones, numbing themselves out. So I think she's also commentating on, like, at a certain point, like, technology's going to get out of control. And in the Kendrick Lamar's verse, he talks about, like, not even AI can clone Kendrick. And he says something.
The same one who wrote Get Out. I have seen that. I just watched that with my kids like a couple weeks ago. They loved it. That, like, I feel like that's a very good director to direct a movie. That's crazy. I bet it'll be amazing.
Something about diamond CGI. I think she's commentating on, like, we are not robots. We're humans. We have souls. And I think she's sending us a warning about how the world can turn into this matrix if we don't be careful. Really quickly, I need to tell you about the second Renaissance, which is in this series called The Animatrix. Yes, it's called the Second Renaissance. And it's a sequence in The Animatrix, which is an animated prequel to The Matrix, where it talks about how The Matrix came to be. This is a short summary. Is by the mid-21st century, mankind has developed robots with true artificial intelligence and relegated them to menial subservient tasks so they could live a life of leisure, which is how we, use robots and AI. Everyone says, oh, technology is going to make life so much easier. And there's no repercussions because we're in charge of the robots. But in the second Renaissance, this does not happen because one of the robots over here overheard its owner planning for it to be thrown out and scrapped. So, not wanting to be unalived, the robot unalives his owners and dogs. So the robot unalives the humans. And he gets put on trial. He, she, whatever. It's a robot. The robot gets put on trial, gets found guilty for murder, and is sentenced to be destroyed, along with the rest of his kind of robot. And the trial ignites a debate worldwide over machine rights, and the mandate for termination spark outbreaks of protests and violence. The machines eventually separate from humanity and find their own city of 0-1, which is like binary code. And due to technical prowess, most of the world's manufacturing businesses, 0-1's power rose massively. Humans began to drop like a stone. And the machines, as they grew power, wanted to have admission to the United Nations, presenting plans for a stable civil relationship with the nations of man. However, admission was denied, and this whole kind of war breaks out between the machines and the humans, and they are, riding war horses again, linking back to the horse with and Renaissance. Um, the machine war begins. The machines are very efficient, and basically the sun eventually gets blocked out, but the machines are able to withstand this. But the crops that the humans live off of are not able to withstand this. So it lets the machines win the war and eradicates human civilization. And that's how the Matrix begins. The second Renaissance is the new form of a machine-human interaction, the second Renaissance. And you could say that we are in a second Renaissance period, because if you think back to when the first Renaissance happened, that was after the Black Plague, the bubonic plague, which I also want to reference that Beyonce is using polka dots a lot in the visuals, in the teacup, in her
I
tights,
noticed
in
a
one
lot
of
of
the
polka
tour
dots.
outfits, I think in Warsaw.
That reminds me, you guys, my skirt got here yesterday. It's amazing. It's unreal. It has polka dots on it. That's what reminded me of it, but it is so cute. I'm going to look so freaking cute. I'm so excited to show you guys.
There's a lot of polka dots, and polka dots were actually worn during the Renaissance to mark if you had the Black Plague. And the Renaissance period happened after this period of darkness.
Wait, did he say the Black Plague? I haven't ever heard it called the Black Plague. This is a lot. I don't know if I've ever retained much. Yeah, it is a lot. It's hard for my brain to like wrap my head around all of it and pull it together. And I also think when things go into like relating it to like the Matrix and stuff, it's just a little far for me. I don't know. We'll see. I really believe the Renaissance movie didn't get released because of what the AMC CEO did. They had a stake in the film and she decided not to release it for them to profit further. What did the AMC CEO do? I haven't heard about that.
So we, in our times right now, are in a second Renaissance after what is probably the biggest thing since, the last Black Plague that happened a couple years ago, the paracetamol. Are we going to come out of this time?
It's their fault. Why would they do such a thing? They were just so excited they wanted everybody to be coming to their theater. Ooh, that irritates me. Yeah, there are a lot of layers. I think that it's good to like watch it, and then I just feel like even though everything doesn't come together in my mind as I'm watching this, something seems like too far. Some things are super interesting, but then later on, when I see more things, it makes everything kind of tie together for me. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember watching that. She can't just come out and say what it is.
Time enlightened and remember how we got into our hobbies and things we were passionate about when we had that time at home, or are we going to go back into the machine? So back to the tour. I'm going to go over some of the visuals in it, as well as song set list choice. So it starts the tour when it starts the Renaissance bit. Her body gets covered in chrome, and she instantly reminded me of in the Matrix when Neo is about to be unplugged from the Matrix and be reborn. And the way that Neo gets...
I will say I at least understand how it's drawing these things together. Some of these things I see and I'm like, where are you coming up with this? You're making this up. But this, like, I'm at least following.
Unplugged. Morpheus and them and Trinity basically like tell the Matrix that Neo's body is unalive and it's not useful to the machines anymore because they use the bodies as an energy source. His world is about to be flipped upside down because he's about...
Also, how fancy are you being able to say you worked for someone in the music industry? She does use a lot of movie references. I'm pretty sure people on the tour confirmed that the inspiration was the movie The Wiz. Oh, I watched a video linking like The Wiz and all of that together.
About to enter reality. And remember, he chose to do this. Remember, he chose the red pill. He chose to see what the real world is like. So he goes through the looking glass when he touches the mirror. Again, there are Alice in Wonderland references throughout the Matrix. Follow the white rabbit. I think it's also interesting that she is covered in like a mercury-like substance, rules the sign of Gemini, which is the twins, and there are these kind of two chrome twins we see a little bit later on in it. Obviously, she also has twins, and her twins are Geminis.
Were the twins in the Renaissance tour? I don't remember seeing them for a while. This is a stretch, but a fun stretch. Yeah.
Twins are also Geminis, side note. So she, going through a looking glass, suggests things are otherworldly or strange and unusual, and she invites us into her house of chrome. So we can already suspect that whatever visuals come, like, this is not going to be anything we expect, and it's going to be completely turned upside down. And I think there's a lot more cryptic stuff going to happen. So then it starts going through this kind of tunnel thing, and it starts to.
Yeah, I haven't seen him very much. He just probably doesn't like attention as much. Rumi is so cute, going out and being all excited about it. It's so adorable.
Say, is this all there is? Is this all there is? If anyone can tell me where that's from, I don't know, but is this all there is? Like, is this all there is? And it goes through this tunnel, and the screens look just like the screens in the architect scene in Matrix Reloaded. And the architect is the creator of the Matrix, and he's in charge of making all the different Neos. And in the scene in the Matrix,
he don't like us. His grandma Tina said he doesn't like all the cameras and crowds. Okay. I've been wanting to I've heard that her book is on Audible. I've been wanting to listen to it, but I have not had time. Probably until I come back from Chicago, then I'm gonna listen to the book. I'm really excited about it. I love that they respect their kids and they're not just like making them be in front of crowds just to show that they can be seen. Like they're just respecting them. I'm the same way. My kids, I used to post tons about my kids, but now that they're older, they don't want to be seen. They don't want to be even in the background of a video ever. And every single time before I post them, I ask if it's okay. 99% of the time, they don't want to be posted. My mom's listening to the book currently and she loves it. I'm really excited to listen to it. It'll be so good. The other day, it's so funny. I think I was live and my daughter came down not knowing I was live. So you can see her come down in the background. She does like a little dance and waves and then runs. And it is there in the replay, but she wouldn't let me just like cut that clip and post it to show you guys her. She was just like, no, if they see me in the background, then that's fine. But I was allowed to post it as the background, but not as a video just of her. It's funny. They do not like it.
It shows all the different Neos on the screen. And if you pause and look at this tunnel of screens, the Beyoncés on the screens are all the different Beyoncés that flash really quickly in the I'm That Girl teaser, much like how the architect shows all the different Neos. And that's why
I'm so excited to find out what all the different Beyoncés mean on her website right now for this tour. I'm so excited. Hopefully Chicago will give us like a better glimpse and we'll have an idea what they mean.
I think the Renaissance film is going to be some kind of multi-dimensional, like everything everywhere all at once kind of film. I think all those different Beyoncés are all of those like different ones of hers. Like I'm just seeing her playing different characters, different life she could have lived out. I just think there's going to be a lot of parallel realities. That's what I'm seeing. And she says, like, reality holds nothing over me. I'm looking for the source to charge my inner being. So there's nothing to do with realism. This is going to be surrealism. So then we see a cityscape, and it reminds me of, like, the real world in The Matrix when Neo sees it, and he's like, this is the real world. This is horrible. And Morpheus is like, yep, this is the real world. This is what you chose. I told you could keep living in the lie of the Matrix, but this is the real world. It is burning in hell. So It reminds me of how people just like
Jovian and
to
Honeybee.
ignorance is bliss. We distract ourselves in a million different ways to stay ignorant to the real state of the world. And the angel that's flying on this rocket is a direct reference to Hajime Sorayama, who is a Japanese artist who makes these kind of sexy robots. His art's really
Mm.
cool. And all of kind of Beyonce's chrome women throughout it are referencing him. Interestingly, The Weeknd is also using his art on his tour, and The Weeknd in a post said he's building a metropolis on stage, and which I'm about to mention in a little bit. Beyonce's also referencing the film Metropolis.
I saw that his tour started the weekends, and people are upset because he's not doing any old songs, right? It's just his new stuff. I feel like that would be disappointing, only because it is that tour, so it makes sense. But like when I knew I was going to the Beyonce Cowboy Carter tour, I was like, even if I don't like the album, at least I'm gonna still hear a lot that I like because they do their old stuff. That would be, I mean, now I would, if it was all Cowboy Carter, I would be super happy, but I feel like that would disappoint a lot of people.
But he actually says it in this post, Metropolis. And I just thought it was weird how they're both using the exact same Japanese artist and the same Metropolis reference. Then she comes in onto the stage after all the screen interludes in a robot costume. She has a similar one in her 2007 the Beyonce Experience World Tour. And it's a reference to Maria, the robot in Metropolis. Metropolis is a sci-fi movie, I believe it's 1927, Fritz Lang. And the premise of this movie, in a nutshell, is there's the ruling class and the working class who live underground. Again, this underground theme. And basically, this rich guy rules the metropolis city, and his son is just oblivious, living in rich land with his dad above ground. But then he sees this woman who ends up being this woman named Maria, and he goes, follows her into the underworld. He sees the working conditions for the people in the underworld and the factories and getting hurt. And he goes to his dad and he's like, why are all these people getting hurt and dying? And his dad basically gets worried that his son has fallen in love with this girl and he's gonna, you know, stoke an uprising. So the dad goes to this mad scientist who wears one black glove, just like Beyonce wears one black glove in that outfit with the mirror on her stomach, which is interesting, on the same hand as well. But this scientist goes and takes Maria, who's also, everyone in the underworld follows her. She's like some kind of preacher, I guess. And she's kind of organizing an uprising, and the dad doesn't like this. So he has the scientist take this robot who the dad can control, the rich dad, and has the scientist make the human Maria look like the robot. So basically, they send the robot who looks like Maria down into the underworld. So the son thinks that Maria has changed because he thinks he's talking to Maria, but he's actually talking to the robot. Anyways, it's like ruling class, sci-fi. It's her fucking reference. So she also has referenced in her 2009 I Am Sasha Fierce World Tour, I Am World Tour, that she's not a robot. She has a whole robot section where she's like, people are working me to the bone, but I'm not a robot.
I have been having a hard time sleeping. 7 a.m. and I've been up for about 2 hours. I landed and did a show, and I had 3 shows in a row, and then my day off, I had to go into the studio. Yesterday was another show. As soon as I got off of the stage, I had to get on a train. I didn't get in until 1 in the morning. And then I have another show and another show. It's going to be like almost 9 days without resting my voice and my body and my mind.
I cannot imagine doing show after show like that and then fitting other things into your life. If I was doing a 3-hour show like that each night, I would be laying in bed every single second other than when I have to perform. Hold on, I'm getting a warning for something. Video belonging to someone else. Oh, it says my stream might be blocked because it belongs to someone else. Well, we'll see if it gets blocked.
And I'm just really upset that I don't have anyone that's concerned about my body and my well-being.
capitalism chews up people and spits them out, thinking that they are robots and can be just a cog in the capitalist machine. And if you're not useful to being a cog in that capitalist machine, it's going to throw you out. So then it goes into her song, I'm That Girl. Mother effers ain't stopping me. My question is, who are the mother effers, you know? She goes into her song, Cozy, and I think it's really interesting. Again, when it comes to visual literacy, look at things literally. She's being framed by robots. I think she is going to be, in the Renaissance movie, be framed by robots, like in the second Renaissance animatrix thing. And she has a new piece of merch where she has like a red square around her, like when you're tracking someone with like a camera or a, tracking someone as a target, and it says problem, like she's a target, she is the problem. And then all up in your mind, she's like, I told you I'm a problem when she performed it.
I told you I'm a fucking problem!
It's interesting she hasn't performed that one that many times, because all up in your mind, AI stuff. Anyways, so at the end of Cozy, she has a bed wrapped around her, and everyone wonders, why does Beyonce have a bed wrapped around her at the beginning of Alien Superstar? Well, it starts with, please do not be alarmed, remain calm, It goes into Alien Superstar, but when she's waking up and going into Alien...
I thought it was just because it was the end of Cozy, and she's cozy in a bed. That's how my mind thought of it, but they're like making it deep.
In Superstar, the lights turn green. Green is the color of the Matrix. Wake up, Neo. She's waking up like Neo and going into Alien Superstar, which is the song where she says, I'm the one, I'm the only one. Nobody can think like me. Who's the one? Neo's the one. She's wake up, Neo. This is the start of that. Alien Superstar. And it just sounds so Matrixy. The DJ booth is conducting a troubleshoot test, so. And she's saying your love is my weakness. Neo's weakness is Trinity, his one true love. Also in Metropolis. The main character's in love with Maria, one true love. Love is the salvation saving force, because can robots love another robot? I don't think so. Now I want to go over the motherboard interlude. Matrixy. I mean, they all are, but
I haven't seen it.
She has these like wires connected to her, and she's in the water. The lighting is like red and blue. There's like an ultrasound, like she's like in the womb. So this is this whole being reborn, right? But this is exactly the scene in the Matrix where Neo gets his disconnected from the Matrix, and it goes through this. Even the going through the tunnel is the same movement as in the Renaissance World Tour. So then I want to jump over to the mind control interlude. This one is the wildest to me. So she has the song Ghost playing, the one where I was saying 9 to 5 just to stay alive, 9 to 5 just to stay alive. So Ghost is playing during this interlude, and it starts with his eye spinning. And remember Hypnos. Hypnos is the Greek god of sleep, ruled and represented by poppies, and it looks like an eye, like your eye is being hypnotized. I think
I'm seeing
she is referencing the attention
really
economy. Because if going back, there was her like 2012, I think, documentary, and In Life is Beautiful, and she's saying like people are too addicted to their phones. I'll play it for you.
People don't make albums anymore.
I love that documentary.
They don't make albums. They just try to sell a bunch of little quick singles, and they burn out, and they put out a new one, and they burn out, and they put out a new one. People don't even listen to a body of work anymore.
We are number one. The album debut at number one!
When I first started out, there was no internet, people taking pictures of you and putting your personal life or exploiting your personal life as entertainment. I think people are so brainwashed. You get up in the morning, you click on the computer, you see all these pictures, and it's all you think of is the picture and the image that you see all day, every day. And you don't see the human form. And I think when Nina Simone put out music, you loved her voice. That's what she wanted you to love. That was her instrument. but you didn't get brainwashed by her day-to-day life and what her child is wearing and who she's dating and, you know, all the things that really, it's not your business, you know, and it shouldn't influence the way you listen to the voice and the art, but it does.
So she's saying people are too addicted to their phones. They care too much about the artist's life outside of the actual art. And in that montage, she has that clip from Bootylicious. So in the mind control interlude,
I love that with her music, like even though she doesn't do as many interviews and stuff now, I feel like she has so much depth to her albums that it still shows us who she is and what she cares about and what's important to her. And we see pieces of her in it without having to know everything that's going on in her personal life. A lot of artists, their music is just so like surface level that the interviews and stuff is how you care about them. But with her, she could completely disappear and her music is enough, which is really impressive. Super amazing.
She also has a clip of the Bootylicious video playing, which let me get back to that in a second. The eye is being hypnotized, like we're being hypnotized by our phones, and it flashes across the screen. Whoever controls the media controls your mind. Whoever controls the media controls your mind. Very much like the.
That's actually so crazy. I have never realized that so much until like, well, especially I think the biggest thing was the Blake Lively and Justin, like all of that thing. The media really is just showing us whatever the heck. And it really has made me think harder about what I'm seeing. Like I don't just blindly believe things that I'm seeing anymore. But also like just with Beyonce, I never saw anything about her. I had no idea when Renaissance was released. I didn't see any of it. And that's just not what the media was like putting on my feed, you know? I just didn't see it. So it's really like, unless we're out searching for different areas of things, like if I was searching for Beyonce, I could have found it. But since I didn't, I just didn't see it. Like the media really controls. Oh, the big thing that made me realize it was the elections. That was wild to me because TikTok was just showing me what I wanted to see. And then they announced it and it was like, what? That was what made me, I like don't trust anything anymore. It's insane.
Matrix. Also, the font for all of Renaissance visuals look like the font in the Matrix. Has anyone else noticed that? I don't know. How do we consume media? Social media. Social media is how we get media. When people say, like, people who control the media control your mind, like, I think immediately we think news, and yes, we watch news, but most people get their news from social media. So our eyes are glued to our phones, and we're being hypnotized by this matrix of media. It then has the sound of a phone disconnecting and going straight to voicemail, and
oh, dude, that scared me. I like jumped to one side of my headphones.
it reminds me in the Matrix how you have to call to get back to the real world. And Zion, you have to pick up the phone, and if you can't pick up the phone, it gets cut off and you get stuck in the Matrix. Then it goes to a hive of bees, like bees buzzing. And people think like, oh, Beyonce beehive. I don't think it's that. I think she's saying hive mindset, groupthink, and the dangers of groupthink and tribalism. There's a beehive. I think she's trying to wield some power on the people who follow her and trying to show them how to like unplug from this. Because I think she's unplugging, and that's why she says my un-American life. I think she's trying to use her power and her beehive to help people unplug from the hive matrix. Then it has the CAPTCHA I am not a robot thing that flashes across the screen. When will robots be able to trick the CAPTCHA? When will AI get too smart? When will it be too late and we're going to be in the next Matrix world where robots are living off of? Commentary on how capitalism uses us like we're robots and breaking our souls. I think it's going to be humans versus robots. Then the America Has a Problem cover flashes on the screen. The society is treating you like you are a robot and can keep going and going and going. You're going to use these pills to numb you out. That's what the opioid epidemic partly is about. The formation political visuals of the Black Lives Matter movement, etc., is flashed across the screen. As well, like I said, she was political in formation. I think she's political here as well. There's no mistake why the formation, hands up, don't, is up at the.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard about the beginning of Cowboy Carter. I feel like it's also political, like because she does the national anthem, but she has like is it Jimi Hendrix version, which I watched a video about his version and what that means. So that's interesting that like even though obviously Lemonade was very political, but these are also political. She's like saying her message and it's important.
Same time as this. Then the craziest thing.
Well, I go live during my show Saturday. So it's on Sunday that I'm going. And yes, I will go live before it starts and then after it's over. I'm not going to go live at all during the show. I'm not even really going to take videos. I've asked a few people, well, I've asked everyone, but a few people have answered me of like the moments that I should record. And I know I'm going to record when she comes out. Someone said the second verse of what's it called? America Has a Problem, America's Got a Problem, something, whatever song that is. That part and Protector. I think those are the three parts. Other than that, if my friend films, like she usually films like us singing and stuff during concerts, so I think she will. But during the concert, I'm not recording much. After the concert, I haven't talked to her about how we're going to get there, but if we drive, then I'll probably go live in the car and wait for traffic to clear out so that we don't have to sit in line forever. But if we don't drive, then I'll go live when we get back to the hotel to talk about it. So it'll be late when we go live and talk about it, but we will. And we'll go live a ton. Like Friday when we get there, we'll go live. We'll probably go live every night that we're in Chicago. I'm so excited too. I can't wait. It's going to be so amazing. And like now that it's getting close, we've started like talking about like where I'm going to meet her on Friday, what time we're going. Like it's all getting very, very real. And you can see my bed behind me. It is such a mess because everything that I want to take, instead of putting it away, I've just been throwing it on my bed. So now I have this huge pile of stuff on my bed I need to go through to pack. I'll probably go live to pack on Thursday. I took the day off to get ready to go. So there will be lots of lives this week. I'm very excited.
Is it goes into a field of poppies, a visual of a field of poppies with the hypnotizing wheel around it. Hypnos was ruled by poppies again. And it was followed by, or previously there was the pills. So it goes from the pills and then it goes to the poppies. Opioid epidemic, poppies. It's so obvious. And the cryptic lyrics from the song Ghost play. I don't know what else to tell you. But the craziest thing to me, I think, is she's talking about this attention economy. We're addicted to our phones. We're addicted to the news. Yeah. It's so easy to fill our brains with propaganda when we're so addicted to everything that we see on the screen, thinking that it's real, believing things, etc. But people think, oh, nobody is in charge of me. Nobody is brainwashing me. I'm not susceptible to brainwashing. Well,
what's so crazy about the way that like people like her think is that if all this is true and she was tying it to the Matrix, she probably was just watching the Matrix and liked it. It was like, that reminds me of all this. I should tie my music to it, and came up with like all of this huge thing just from watching a movie. I know that Taylor Swift wrote Death by a Thousand Cuts after watching, what's that movie called? I love that movie. All I can think is How to Be Single, but that's not it. I don't know, but I love that. They just see movies and they're like, ooh, and it gives them ideas. I am not that creative. I can't do that. My brain does not function that way.
Just like in the myth of Narcissus. So this is what's interesting. So she has this whole Echoville thing. So Echo was a Greek god, and she was only able to repeat things that speak the last words spoken to her. Echo fell in love with Narcissus, and Narcissus fell in love with himself. So if she's already referencing Morpheus and Hypnos in her other Greek mythology things and the birth of Venus, I think Echo, villain Echo, has to do with how Echo could only repeat the last word spoken, and then Narcissus is obsessed with himself. And people
That's
don't
crazy.
even realize how manipulated they are being because of their narcissism. And I think this is what she's doing in this part of the visual. Because at the end of the mind control visual, she goes to click and the camera goes to the audience and everyone's like, oh my God, yeah, it's like the Jumbotron. But that's exactly how social media controls you. You get your little 15 minutes of fame on Instagram and TikTok. Your narcissism is pleased, and therefore that pulls you into the brainwashing. Because you post your little
That's
thing
so
waiting for your likes, and then you're addicted and staying on the app all the time. And they're feeding off of your narcissism, because if you weren't posting anything, would you be on social media as much? Do you see what I mean?
Her
It
mind is
pulls
something
people
else.
in by their narcissism. So I think when she flips the TV to switch it onto you, that's what she's doing.
Wow.
And the fact that it starts playing Bootylicious when it flips to the audience, and Bootylicious was in that clip from the Life is Beautiful documentary when she's talking about exactly this and people's attention. I don't know. It all really lines up to me. Lastly, I just want to say, like, how this all wraps up. So I think that it is a Trojan horse because of all the pushback she got from Formation. Remember, the cops were, picketing her and all this stuff. I think that she wanted to do something more covert. And if you look a little bit deeper, it's all very obvious. I think it's a political message. I think it has to do with the opioid epidemic, numbing out, surveillance capitalism, dystopian futures, humans versus machines, losing our souls, being a cog in the machine. And to bring it around, the Trojan horse is what the Greeks
That
used
horse is so pretty.
to defeat
Yes.
in Troy. So the Greeks pretended to sail away. The Trojans pulled the horse into the city as a victory trophy. That night, the Greek force crept out of the horse, opened the gates for the rest of the Greek army, which
That's the
sailed
cover
back
for
under the cover of
the
darkness.
vinyl,
The Greeks
right?
entered and
I
destroyed the
can't
city,
wait to
ending
get
the
it.
war. And it was after a 10-year siege. Remember I said siege? A flock of herons is called a siege? I don't know. And the fact that the Trojan horse is about the Greeks winning and she has all this Greek mythology, it sounds a lot like what's going to happen.
I need
Anyways,
it.
let me know what you guys think. I'm going to do some more videos breaking down further visuals because there's more from the Renaissance World Tour that I do want to dive into. But for now, this is my detailed breakdown on why I think Beyonce's Renaissance is a Trojan horse and is going to be like the Matrix, another Matrix, this second Renaissance Matrix. Lawrence Fishburne. I think she's going to cast Lawrence Fishburne in it because he wasn't in the last Matrix. Also, that's another thing. In the Matrix, all the guides are black. Morpheus is black. He's the one who.
If she does come out with a documentary for Cowboy Carter tour, we should be getting it towards the end of this year. Oh my gosh. I would be so happy to have a documentary for a concert that I went to. Oh my gosh. What a life.
Guides Neo. The Oracle is black. Niobe's the captain of the ship. She's black. It's a very, progressive movie in that way, and especially because Zukowski sisters say, at the time they were not out as trans, but they say now, looking back, that the Matrix was very much a.
They're not too bad. The Renaissance, I want to say, is like 40 something, and Cowboy Carter is 50 something. I'm just trying not to spend any money until after I go to Chicago. I want to make sure that I can spend as much as I want there, and I don't want to be tight. So if I come back from Chicago and I still have the money, then I'm going to buy both vinyls. I'm waiting just to make sure that I am good there.
Trans story, which is really interesting as well, given Renaissance and celebrating queer and trans culture. and whatnot. So I definitely think that there is a tie there. So maybe she's working with the Wachowskis. Um, I don't know. But Lawrence Fishburne, I think, would be in it, or maybe Jada Pinkett Smith is. Um, oh, one more thing. I keep thinking things. Niobe's partner on the ship, the logo ship, is named Ghost. And then Ghost is that song that she plays during the mind control interlude. I wouldn't put it past Beyonce. I think she's been plotting this for a long time. A long, long, long time. And follow me everywhere at Lore Breakers. I will be doing a lot more videos breaking down. Let me know what you think. Comment below. I would love these.
I love that. They're so nice too. I messaged them and they sent me all of these videos to watch so that I knew which ones were just Renaissance because I was having a hard time finding them. So I'm very grateful for them. So shout out to whoever runs Lore Breakers. That's not bad at all. I thought it would be more. Yeah, it's not bad. The older ones, like self-titled, oh, I would give anything for that, but it's so expensive. The Destiny's Child vinyls, the ones that I really want, they're all like $500. But Renaissance and Cowboy Carter are still available. So, and so is Lemonade. That one was only like $30. So I'm very happy about that. I just wish I could get the older ones. Okay, so should I look up the Echoville theory? The other ones that he sent me, this one's Beyonce and Jordan Peele are making a movie. Hey, that's what you guys were just saying. Maybe we should watch that one. This one is Stage as a Power Symbol and then Stage as a Power Symbol Part 2. A re-release. Oh, please. I would be so happy if she would re-release anything. I would buy everything. Love to have her whole collection. Yeah, it would be incredible. Watch that one. Okay, let's watch it. The Jordan Peele.
This is the Renaissance World Tour problem interlude. Zoom in and you'll see this clip of a horse running. This is the intro to Jordan Peele's Nope. This is a tweet from Monkey Paw Productions.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
And this is my theory on why I think Jordan Peele will be collaborating with Beyonce on a dystopian horror film, possibly set in space. Let's stop.
I did know about him because someone sent me a video about it and I saw him. I don't know that his name is Jordan Peele, but I do remember that.
The clip of a horse running is not just any film. It's the first ever motion picture. Well, proto-motion picture. It's titled The Horse in Motion, and it was shot by English photographer Edward Muybridge in 1878. The series became the first example of chronophotography, an early method to photographically record the passing of time. There are 16 frames of a horse, also 16...
I don't know what Gang of Roses is. Hold on, let me look at it. Gang of... Oh. That has good actors in it.
songs on Renaissance and 16 carriages. I suspect there will be 16 songs on Act 2. This Horse in Motion film was kind of an act.
They suspected 16 songs. Isn't there more than that in Act 2? Hold on, let me see how many there are. I feel like there was like a lot. I don't know. 9, 15, 19, 20, 27. You have to see. I have seen Get Out. It is really good.
Accident. Muybridge was commissioned by Leland Stanford as a way to study a horse's gait. Long story short, Muybridge invented a way to take many photos in a quick succession, and those 16 frames were put together and made the first ever film. An incredibly important piece of the development of motion pictures that is cemented in the history of film. You'd think we know everything about this clip. We know Edward Muybridge is the one who shot it. We know Leland Stanford is the one who commissioned it. We even know the name of the horse, Sally Gardner. But we don't know the name of the black jockey riding it. That's right. We don't know. Historians have tried to trace it, but there's no solid proof or evidence of the man's name. Black history getting erased again. Back in the 1800s, the world of sports and entertainment were one of the few places African Americans could excel in Jim Crow times. Muybridge's documenting of this black jockey offers a rare visual glimpse into the history. So why is it in the beginning of Nope? The Horse in Motion is an important plot point to Nope. Emerald Haywood, played by Keke Palmer, and O.J. Haywood, played by Daniel Kaluuya, are the descendants of Alistair E. Haywood, a fictional name, the first Black actor and animal trainer shown on film, who was the founder of Haywood Hollywood Horses.
And we are your animal wranglers today with Haywood Hollywood Horses. Now, did you know that the very first assembly of photographs in sequential order to create a motion picture was a 2-second clip of a black man on a horse? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Look it up. Now, I know you guys know Edward Muybridge, the grandfather of motion pictures, who took the pictures that created that clip. But does anybody know the name of the black jockey that rode the horse?
No.
Nope. I mean, the very first stuntman, animal wrangler, and movie star all rolled into one, and there is literally no record of them.
That's crazy.
That man was a Bahamian jockey that went by the name of Alistair E. Haywood, and he is my great-great-grandfather.
Great.
There's another great-grandfather. That's why back at the Haywood Ranch, as the only black-owned horse trainers in Hollywood, we like to say
the movie, so it's not really her
great-grandfather.
Right?
After this, OJ is getting the horse ready for filming, and someone on set brings a mirror ball up to it. This makes the horse react and kick back, resulting in it being too dangerous to film.
Well, I think you might need a break.
Yeah, we'll rehearse one first and then break, yeah?
Well, I'm ready to do one.
OJ, she's ready to do one. Tell the horse we're ready to do one.
VFX, can we get the ball in here while we have a sec?
Yeah.
VFX. OJ, you can step off. Step out. Step off. Step out.
What's the horse's name?
Lucky.
Lucky.
Right.
Is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
Bobby?
Hey.
Hey, man, if she can't get near the back of the horse, what are we doing here?
Hey. Whoa.
You tried to tell them.
This gets Haywood Hollywood Horses fired from the job. OJ is visibly upset, and one of the crew members tries to comfort him, but in the background we see a green screen horse they're wheeling in the background to replace the Haywood horse.
Look, maybe it's just too soon. It's not the gig. Not ready yet. Right?
You mean it?
No, I know. Your dad left an enormous hole. I know that. But don't worry, they'll be others. All right? I'm sorry. And
Sorry.
just tell her sorry.
Cut to the Renaissance World Tour. In Beyonce's Memories Run Through My Wires interlude, we see her on a green screen stage with none other than a green screen horse.
Yeah, that really looks like it.
So we have not one, but two direct references to Nope, the horse in motion film, and the green screen horse. So what does this mean, and why is Beyonce doing a film with Jordan Peele? My opinion only. A lot of the Black experience is horror, from the more obvious ones to the more subtle ones. Important figures being lost to history like ghosts. It seems, unless the trauma is severe, they're not allowed to mourn the loss. While the Haywood family is not based on a real family, they are symbolic of the important contributors to lost history. Nope continues us and Get Out's social commentary and undertones that use horror and comedy. The Haywood's plight is that while motion pictures have evolved into a lucrative business, their family's contribution is absent. Referencing the real history of film, the horse in the motion picture sequence is given credit, but not the jockey, who could conceivably be not just one of the first actors in Hollywood, but an important part of Black history. Jordan Peele is able to bring...
That's crazy. The horse is given credit, but not the jockey riding the horse? That's wild. What do you mean?
...light to another industry where people of color were marginalized and uncredited. What's interesting, too, is that when the horse kicks back, they don't even ask the Haywoods if they have another horse, which of course they would have, giving them another chance respecting their Hollywood legacy. Rather, they quickly replace it with this CGI green screen horse. It's almost like they were excited for an excuse to fire them. Perhaps even they knew the mirror would upset the horse, sabotaging it themselves. Black film history has been pushed out of memory. In the ranch house in Nope, there are posters of Duel at Diablo and Buck the Preacher, the very first Western starring and directed by Sidney Poitier in 1966 and 1972. Buck and the Preacher was groundbreaking for casting Black actors as main characters. Beyonce has long spoken about uplifting Black voices, ones that weren't forgotten, and remembering legacies and pioneers in African American history and across the African diaspora. She has proved to be vocal about it again and again through her art and trying to heal and spread love. None more obvious than in Renaissance, where she shined a light on pioneers in house music from the Black, trans, and LGBTQIA communities. And now she's doing it with country, reclaiming the Black country music and the Black cowboys, which she also made a nod to in her Grammys outfit, which was from Pharrell's Louis Vuitton collection, shining a spotlight on Black cowboys. Peele's particular brand of horror and the Black experience in America is extremely on par with what Beyonce talks about, and it makes perfect sense. There's another point that I need to explore regarding Nope and Renaissance, and that has to do.
So when you guys say that you think that she's making a movie with him, do you think like they're making a movie like that she's acting in, or they're turning her acts into a movie that he's helping with?
With the CGI horse and that alien. The beginning of Nope starts with a quote from the Bible, Nahum 3:6. I will cast abominable filth on you, make you vile, and make you a spectacle. This is a film about spectacle, and what you consume will consume you. The basic premise of Nope is that there's an alien-like creature that appears at the Haywood Ranch, and Emerald gets very excited and decides she and OJ need to capture a photo of it because it could make them rich. OJ's not as keen. He doesn't have a smartphone, and when he sees the creature, he just says, nope. A series of events
I can't hear OJ without thinking of OJ Simpson. He keeps saying it, and every single time, all I can think about is OJ Simpson.
Fold, and people trying to monetize on getting the perfect shot of this alien for their own benefit. However, the downside of looking at the alien means it will consume you, literally, eat you whole, spit you out, and raid blood all over your house. Hence the Bible quote. It will cast abominable filth upon you, make you vile, and make you a spectacle. But if you don't look at the alien, it won't eat you, and OJ figures this out. Quoting a Vox article titled Jordan Peele's Nope explained, when it comes to OJ, he knows not to look. He opts out. Nope. But you can't really opt out of spectacle culture. It's around you. And whether or not you want to participate, it tends to suck you in anyhow. When OJ and Emerald realize there's some kind of flying saucer in the sky, their first impulse is to film it, to own a representation of it. That's not without reason, since they've grown up knowing that their family's place in Hollywood history was essentially stolen from them by those more interested in the horse's name than in the Haywoods. But their urge to get the impossible shot is greater than their urge to run away from danger itself. Yet, it might help explain.
That show you told me about the other day, I tried all weekend to watch it, but my kids kept wanting to spend time with me, which is fine. I'm happy that they were, but lately they have been like, they always want to be up in their rooms. They're so busy. Just don't have high expectations. I'll have it like in the background while I'm doing stuff. So that show, what was it called? I keep wanting to say Forever or something. Oh yeah, it is Forever. I want to watch it. I'm going to start it tonight, I think. If I get, oh wait, it's already 9. No, I won't. I'm going to start it sometime. I'm excited to watch it.
Why OJ's the first to realize that the saucer isn't a saucer at all. At least not like the kind they're used to seeing in the movies.
Yep.
It wasn't crazy to assume the object in the sky was a ship carrying aliens. Many of the things we believe about the world around us and about our history come from the representations of them on screens, not reality. Our ideas of what war is like, what cities are like, what love is like, how the West was won, they all come through movies. They have since the pictures started moving. And remember the shiny ball that spooked the horse at the beginning of the film? It's a mirror ball, known as a VFX ball, a key tool for digital video artists in making today's spectacle-driven CGI blockbusters. Quoting the Vox article again, Nope at least a little bit is a warning, or maybe a prophecy, or a call for a reboot, a reminder to care about what or who gets our attention. When midway through the film the saucer rains guts and bloods down on the ranch, you have to think of Nahum's words, I will cast abominable filth on you. A culture built on spectacle can only get more spectacular, coaxing us to always look at it and to never tear ourselves away, to gorge ourselves on it. The impossible trick is to just say nope. Nope is centrally about how our experiences of reality have been almost entirely colonized by screens and cameras and entertainment.
If you watched Snob, you should definitely watch an explained video after just to get a full understanding what it was about. Okay. Okay, now it says that it's been blocked. It's because I'm sharing someone else's video. I guess I'll have to stop this. Hold on, if I stop sharing it. Okay, can you guys still hear me or no? That sucks. I might have to, I'll probably have to record. It's always hard to do live reactions. Oh, you guys can't hear me, huh? Well, if you can, I'll go live on TikTok to talk.